Welcome, and thank you for joining us. This video series provides an introduction and overview of the Boyle Heights Community Plan Update, an effort of Los Angeles City Planning. If you have been involved throughout the process to update the community plan, we appreciate your contributions and continued engagement. If this is your first time engaging with the Boyle Heights Community Plan, thank you for joining us. We look forward to your participation. This is part 4 of a 4-part series of presentations. This section, Part 4, is a closer look at the Boyle Heights Community Benefits Program, which is a program to incentivize affordable housing development within the community plan. Part 1 provided an overview of community planning and the Boyle Heights Community Plan. Part 2 provided a look at zoning and the zoning tools used in the community plan. And Part 3 provides an overview of the plan policies. In addition to this video series, please visit our website for detailed informational handouts, the draft plan, an interactive land use and zoning map, and the draft Community Benefits Program document. This section will review community benefits and affordable housing incentives, particularly how the Boyle Heights Community Plan Update incentivizes new affordable housing along with the structure of the proposed Community Benefits Program. At a basic level, community benefits create a system of value capture, which means that when public improvements, new infrastructure, or a change in land use regulations results in increased land value, that increase in land value is recaptured in the form of specific community benefits. The Community Benefits Program for Boyle Heights is a program that incentivizes affordable housing in new housing projects in exchange for additional development rights. This program is built off of existing affordable housing incentive programs in the City of Los Angeles, such as Density Bonus and the Transit-Oriented Communities Program. Today in Boyle Heights, 2 affordable housing incentive programs exist, Density Bonus and the Transit-Oriented Communities Program, which is often called TOC. Both of these programs are optional incentive programs that offer a developer additional development rights or incentives, such as floor area, height, or density, in exchange for the developer dedicating a percentage of units in the project as affordable units. We'll get into what it means for a unit to be affordable shortly. The Los Angeles Density Bonus Ordinance is adapted from state law and was adopted in 2004 for the City of LA. If an applicant or developer chooses to use the Density Bonus program, they are required to set aside a percentage of base units in a project as affordable. The TOC program is specific to the City of LA and was a requirement of Measure JJJ that was passed by LA City voters in November of 2016. The citywide guidelines were implemented in 2017, and they apply to properties within a half-mile of rail or bus transit. The current TOC guidelines will expire in 2027 and can be extended for an additional 5 years by City Council. The TOC program is structured with 4 tiers that change the required percentage of affordable units, as well as the intensity of the incentives that are offered to an applicant based on how close the site is to transit and how frequent that transit service is. If an applicant or developer chooses to use the TOC program, they are required to set aside a percentage of the total units in a project as affordable. One way the TOC program is unique from Density Bonus is that it often yields a higher number of affordable units in the project, since the percentage of affordable units is calculated on the total number of units in the project, whereas with Density Bonus, it is calculated on the base number of units in the project. So, how do these 2 existing programs inform the Boyle Heights Community Benefits Program? The Boyle Heights Community Benefits Program is an optional affordable housing incentive program giving additional development potential to applicants or developers that include a percentage of affordable housing units in a project. The program applies to all properties in the plan where multi-unit development is allowed, which is shown on the map here. The program expands the opportunity for affordable housing incentives beyond the existing TOC tiers, which are determined based on the frequency of transit service. In addition, the Boyle Heights Community Benefits Program tailors the incentives as well as the eligibility requirements to Boyle Heights. What this means is that in areas with high concentrations of rent-stabilized units and built-out multi-unit housing, the incentives that are offered are reduced from what TOC would allow under today's existing guidelines. For example, additional height may not be offered as an incentive in the lower density multi-unit areas in Boyle Heights, where currently the buildings are not built out to the maximum height limits that are allowed under today's existing zoning. This is done to maintain the existing rent-stabilized and more naturally occurring affordable housing stock in Boyle Heights, and to not encourage redevelopment of those properties. However, the incentives are similar to the existing TOC guidelines on mixed-use corridors and in the areas near transit stations. The proposed program also tailors the eligibility requirements to the needs of the community, requiring a greater percentage of affordable units than today's TOC tiers that are in the plan area, and requiring larger unit sizes to accommodate multi-generational households. The Boyle Heights Community Benefits Program has two main components. Article 9 of the new zoning code establishes the framework and procedures for the Community Benefits Program. Article 9 also includes the base incentives that are offered for an applicant or developer, which we'll talk more about in a moment. The second piece is the Community Plan Implementation Overlay, or CPIO, which is an ordinance that implements and adopts the tailored Boyle Heights Affordable Housing Incentive Program. For an applicant or developer to utilize this optional Boyle Heights Affordable Housing Incentive Program, a project must dedicate a percentage of the total units in the building as affordable units. It must include 30% of all the units in the new development with 2 or more bedrooms to accommodate varying household sizes, and a project must be a project that includes at least 5 units. This means that an applicant constructing a duplex cannot utilize this program. So how many affordable units are actually required for an applicant or developer to use this program? The Boyle Heights program requires that a developer or applicant set aside at least 11% of the total units in the building for extremely low income households, which means that the household earns between 0 to 30% of the area median income, or provide 15% of the total units for very low income households, earning 30 to 50% of the area median income, or provide 25% of the total units for lower income households, with incomes of 50 to 80% of the area median income. The units provided must be set aside and covenanted at these levels for a term of at least 55 years, which means that the property owner is required to keep these rents affordable to households at that income level for 55 years, even if the tenants change. So what is AMI and what does it actually mean for these units to be affordable? The Housing and Community Investment Department, HCIDLA, sets the rent limits each year based on the area median income, which is also called AMI. Based on the income range, rent is capped at 30% of a household's total income to ensure that the household is not considered rent burdened. The rent limits take into account household size and the income range. For example, this would mean that based on the 2020 AMI, a family of 4 with an income under $33,800 would be considered an extremely low-income household and would qualify for a unit with rents capped at $559 a month for a 3-bedroom unit. For more information, please visit the HCIDLA website to view the rent schedules, where the various income ranges and rent limits are published. So if a developer or applicant is building a project with 5 or more units, dedicates a percentage of the units as affordable, and provides 30% of the units as 2 or more bedrooms, what do they gain in return? Without utilizing this program, a developer would be able to build a project up to the maximum base zoning regulations in terms of height, floor area, or density, and the entire project could be built with market rate units. If the developer chooses to utilize the Community Benefits Program and meets all of the requirements listed, they are eligible for development incentives, which grant them greater height, more floor area, reduced parking, and greater density, meaning a greater number of overall units. They may also be eligible for additional incentives that help the project. If a project includes 100% of the units in the project as affordable at any of the income levels listed, they are eligible for greater incentives. This is because they are providing a greater public benefit by dedicating the entire project to affordable housing units. Incentive programs offer various types of incentives. In the Boyle Heights Community Benefits Program, the incentives offered are listed here. These are very similar to the incentives offered through density bonus and through TOC, but it should be noted that reducing open space in a project in exchange for affordable housing units will no longer be an option in the tailored Boyle Heights Affordable Housing Incentive Program. The overarching objective of incentives is to encourage private developers to include a public benefit, in this case in the form of affordable housing, in a project, and the incentives help maximize the development potential to increase the financial feasibility for the project. In the proposed Affordable Housing Incentive Program, the by right incentives offered include an increase in floor area ratio, height, and density, as well as a reduction in the number of required parking spaces. Details on these incentives can be found in Article 9 of the new zoning code, specifically in Section 9.3.2. To determine a specific site's height or floor area increase, view the applicable form district and find the regulations for bonus FAR max and bonus height max. The additional incentives offered are outlined in the Boyle Heights CPIO. By right incentives or base incentives do not require a case to be filed with the planning department, and an applicant can go to building and safety to obtain a building permit. A project that uses the additional incentives offered requires a director's determination or DIR case to be filed and approved with city planning. Any project that wants incentives beyond what are offered in the Boyle Heights Community Benefits Program, such as greater height or floor area or incentives not listed, needs approval by the Los Angeles City Planning Commission and will be required to follow the off-menu density bonus procedures. Today in Boyle Heights, for a developer or applicant that pursues incentives in exchange for affordable housing, the options available are to use the Density Bonus Program or the TOC program. With the proposed community plan update and adoption of the Boyle Heights Affordable Housing Incentive Program, density bonus will remain an option, but the TOC program will be replaced within the boundaries of the Boyle Heights Community Plan area by the tailored Affordable Housing Incentive Program. For more information and details on zoning for a specific site, please visit our website and view the interactive zoning map found in the Maps tab of our website. By searching by address or clicking on a parcel, you can view the existing and proposed zoning and land use for a site, including the base and bonus FAR and height regulations. The timeline here shows our current phase and our next steps. Last September, City Planning released the updated community plan document along with the draft community benefits program and draft zoning for Boyle Heights. In the coming months, we will release a draft EIR, which is the environmental review of the potential environmental impacts of the proposed plan. After a comment period for the draft EIR, we will hold a public hearing on the draft plan and zoning changes, which kicks off the adoption process for the community plan. After the public hearing, a recommended plan will be brought to the City Planning Commission and finally adopted by City Council. Leading up to and during the entire adoption process, there are many opportunities for continued public input, feedback, and comments. Thank you for viewing Part 4 of this 4-part video series. Please view the other 3 parts for additional information related to the Boyle Heights Community Plan Update, which you can find on our website at planning4la.org/bhplan. You can also visit our website for the draft plan document, the Community Benefits Program, as well as an interactive zoning map and informational handouts. In addition, on our website, you can sign up for our email list to be notified of future releases and public hearing dates. Thank you for your continued involvement in the community planning process.